contact me while I'm alone.
Welcome back to the Monopooma channel, boys. How are we doing? Doing good? I know you are. Come on. As you can tell by the intro, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite game companies out there. Battlefield might be one of the best FPS games out there, in my personal opinion. Providing a large range of weapons, vehicles, large maps, and just so many cosmetics, this game just has so many infinite possibilities for massive, large-scale battles. The game has evolved so much over time, all the way back to 2002 till even now, 2026. Now I'm thinking we go into a quick history lesson, just very quickly until we get into the actual peak of Battlefield. Now each Battlefield game has its high and lows and has contributed so much to the actual franchise and the community, but only very specific ones have had a massive impact and also well, they're dog shit. It's the easiest way I can say it. Also, don't mind the random sawing in the background. One of my neighbors just sawing metal, okay? I can't deal with that. We're just gonna run with it. It all began in Battlefield 1942, that released back in 2002. It all revolved around the Second World War, a big introduction to open scale maps, the Second World War, and so many other things. And then you also have the introduction of the Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2. There is also Battlefield 2142, which did look into more of a futuristic modern warfare. In my opinion, I am not the biggest fan, although the Titan mode was pretty sick in that you could literally, it's basically just Titanfall, you could literally just call in a Titan and just mow people down. It was so much fun, but it wasn't exactly the Battlefield I imagined. And of course, we can't forget to mention Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 having probably some of the best campaign and also multiplayer of all Battlefields just in general. The only problem I have with Battlefield 4 is wherever you're in the campaign, for some reason only you can actually kill the AI for some reason. Watch my teammates load like bullets into this one guy. He just didn't die until I shot him, which is pretty fucking stupid. I don't know what's up with that, guys. But that wasn't it. We also have Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042, which I don't even know what to say. Long story short, they were pretty bad. They didn't perform as well, especially Battlefield 2042 with its awful launch and its very unbalanced guns, awful maps. It just wasn't very a fun time to play, and also its lack of destruction. But we also do have Battlefield 6, which is honestly an amazing comeback to fix all those problems with Battlefield 5 and 2042, but it just doesn't feel like the peak of Battlefield. It feels like we've passed it already. I think you know what game we're talking about. The Battlefield game I haven't mentioned yet. Oh, there's a lot more I haven't mentioned, but you know what I'm talking about, and that was Battlefield 1. I'm gonna say this right now, this is my opinion. Battlefield 1, without a doubt, is the best Battlefield game of all time. There's no argument, you can't change my mind. This game had the best campaigns, the best multiplayer, the best map, guns, DLC, everything was just perfect. I think this was what I imagined Battlefield, and they did it perfectly. DICE definitely took a risk here and decided to make a game around World War I, and having that heavy use of trench warfare and the sheer violence and horrors of the first ever World War, and they smashed it out the park with ease. Having that perfect tone and atmosphere along with the music and score really sold this game and its atmosphere. There's so much to talk about with this game, it's hard to really find where to start, but I guess we can start with the campaign and just its opening story. This opening text alone is so nerve-wracking. Unlike a lot of other games, especially revolving around World War I, it never truly tries to tell you the horrors behind these wars and their significance in the world and other countries. The line where you're not expected to survive is possibly one of the both toughest and also most terrifying lines in Battlefield history. Instead of having a narrator or some old guy discuss his time in the war, it quietly shoves you into the front lines and lets you experience them firsthand.
We're surrounded! We have to hold this line!
The first 10 seconds of this scene was insane. I haven't even shot my gun yet, and yet it was already so insane. It was traumatizing, and it felt like that adrenaline pumping you feel when you're about to go into a fight. Throughout this mission, you're basically just fighting to survive, holding the line, pushing back the enemy, doing whatever you can. Throughout this mission, you are playing throughout the eyes of an everyday soldier, fighting till your end meets. When you die, you move to the next soldier. First, you hold the line in a barren wasteland. Second, you hold a rundown church from enemy forces. Third, operate a land ship and push back the enemy. And last, your final charge towards the enemy on a hill. Now, I know not everyone is into like the campaign. Most people who play Call of Duty or Battlefield, they're usually there for the multiplayer. But me personally, I actually really love replaying the Battlefield 1 campaign. And it's just so much fun. Especially the original Modern Warfare series. That campaign, 2, 3, 4, those were probably the best stories I've had in a Call of Duty game, besides I guess Black Ops 1 and 2. We don't talk about Black Ops 3. That was fucking ass. What the fuck was that? Only problem I kind of have with Battlefield story, especially with Battlefield 3 and 4, I kind of wish there was this continuity with its characters. I do understand it wants to look into more the Modern Warfare and not really focus too much on too many characters and just the soldiers itself. But with characters like Irish from Battlefield 4, he made a return in 2042, but there was no campaign. He was just more a character that was just on the front lines fighting. He had no real purpose to be there, but he was kind of just there just because, you know, popular Battlefield 4 character, we're bringing him back. That was basically his only use. And of course, just Bad Company, especially Bad Company 2. That was just... that was probably like the best Bad Company game ever. The dynamic between the four duo, the four main guys, or I guess the Bad Company, was just so amazing. And I saw comments of people in the military on TikTok. Maybe I can find the comments. It'll be here. But they said this was like really accurate to how real soldiers would just interact on the front lines. And some of the interactions they have with each other is fucking hilarious. It's so peak, and the story is so good too. They even take a buddy kick at Call of Duty, so I'll play that and a couple other funny moments here, so I'll let you enjoy that for a couple seconds.
I should clear this with Braidwood.
No. He'll just send some special ops douchebags with pussy-ass heartbeat monitors on their guns instead of us.
So you reckon that the rainbow sprinkles are the way forward with the donut?
Absolutely, because then you get the different textures between soft donuts.
Could you two
and
get your
crunchy
asses over here
sprinkles.
right now?
Did you lose something, Sarge?
You drop something,
This
Sergeant?
is supposed to be a stealth mission.
Why?
Hags, come on now. If you leave, no more T-bone steaks, man.
Yeah. No more buying AR-15 ammo at the mall.
No more shooting trespassers on your porch.
No more biscuits and gravy.
No more Super Bowl Sundays. No more Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Shit. That's Tor. Get out of the way! I gotta save me some cheerleaders.
Coming back to Battlefield 1, I can't stress enough how impactful this campaign was for everyone who's already a Battlefield fan, but for those who it's their first time playing. In a simple 10-minute starting campaign, it managed to really show off what a Battlefield game really is. The intense and high-octane gunfights that literally throw you into the game straight away, and then dropping this hard as fuck quote in literally the first 1 minute of the campaign is just, it is insane. It's just honestly terrifying when you think about it. Plus, the more you go into just the starting campaign, all the other stories that was all about different parts of the world in World War I, it may not be the most accurate, but it's an amazing depiction of what the war was truly like on different fronts. Each story has an element that surrounds the character, and basically it's used as a way to kind of show you what the multiplayer is going to be like. Each different front shows you different parts of the gameplay, and also kind of how the world kind of evolves around this character. For example, the first mission, Through Mud and Blood with Edward, you play as a tank operator. You learn the basics of driving a tank, managing the repairs and pushing through the front lines,
ensuring you take out any gun placements to help your infantry advance. Next, my personal favorite mission, Friends in High Places, with Clyde Blackburn, where you get to learn about flying, maneuvering, taking out fires, bombers, and it's just such a fun story, especially when you go up against the blimps in the last mission of the story. Then there's both Aventi Savoy, I probably said that wrong, and The Runner, which look more to the infantry side, being able to give you that Doomslayer feeling in the Sentry Kit armor, basically invincible and mowing down your enemies with ease. Then The Runner looking more into the side of how communication was so important and technology wasn't ahead of its time back then. So instead of using radios, it was manually Morse code or runners that ran through the battlefield to send messages.
Besides the campaign being just absolute peak, the multiplayer was also just as good as the campaign. Every gunfight, every tank battle, every dogfight, every fight I had with the behemoths, it was just amazing. Even every TikTok clip I've seen has just been literally, literally every TikTok clip that I've seen has just been the least cinematic Battlefield moment, and it will be literal hell on earth. And like, I mean, he's not wrong though, like clips like this is nothing to what I've seen. I think it's about time we now properly start to talk about Battlefield. Sit down and relax, really. I've already talked about the campaign and the multiplayer, but I feel like it's time we really get into the nitty-gritty on why this game was just so amazing, and it had such a big impact on not just myself, but the entire Battlefield community and everyone outside of it. Oh, yeah, don't worry about this random ass chair and this beautiful scenery. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, we work with what we got. Let's just keep moving on.
It kind of started with the release of the game, especially when Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was coming out and the response on both games was literally night and day. Its success really shows with having 20 to 30 million copies sold overall, and about 3 million in its first week. It's insane how a game like this was made back in 2016 and the graphics are just 100 times better than some of the other games that have been coming out in the most recent couple of years.
Battlefield 1 had a balance, and a perfect balance of everything that it needed. It brought about a new game and an untouched timeline about a war that not many games even tried to make a game about. We always hear about the horrors of World War I in school or anywhere really, and how much it had an impact on the world. There was never really any games that tried to perfectly replicate that feeling. I'm not saying Battlefield is the best accurate representation of World War I, but it still did an amazing job at pulling this off. Especially in the campaign, it did such an amazing way to capture how the lives were destroyed by these wars. Not just the soldiers, but civilians, families, and DICE managed to show this perfectly in not just the campaign, but even the multiplayer through our experiences and these made up wars that we make in our minds. It's kind of romantic in a weird way, I can't lie. And overall, it was a really respectful and educational tribute to what happened back then. And honestly, I think DICE did an amazing job. The intense and brutal trench battles, the tanks going over the horizon, infantry charging, horseback charging you at full speed, dogfights happening all around you while bombs drop right above you, and the sounds of a behemoth, the dreadnought from the ocean. Everything, everywhere in this game was just something to behold of. It was a masterpiece. It was literally absolute cinema. Everything that comes down to this game is literally in all the big and small details. There was so much love and passion that was taken into it. You can tell easily that this game was taken care of so much. The amount of sound design that went into this game for every little detail was so important. Even the animations of going into a car and getting out of a vehicle was literally just insane. We don't see this anymore. Plus, you also have to add its amazing visuals and just the score that matches with it. It just truly creates these amazing heroic and tragic moments. I've already said it before, but DICE did an amazing job making Battlefield 1. They managed to create a game that was so well balanced and also just so fun and destructive at the same time. It gave us players such massive or small possibilities for different types of style of warfare. With a war that none of us have really ever experienced especially, this was an opportunity for us, the players, to really just find something new. To just find new ways and new paths to see how we can approach each situation. With all these new guns, vehicles, and ways to approach this war that we've heard so much about and never experienced, it just opens so many doors and possibilities for epic moments, fails, and those horrifying, disastrous moments that we call the least cinematic Battlefield 1 moments. It also showed that at this time, Battlefield cared so much about the community, creating amazing, fun-packed DLCs that just added to the community, and it even brought in more fans from even outside the Battlefield community. This was probably the highest Battlefield has ever been. Literally the peak of Battlefield. The best way I could describe Battlefield is it's kind of like a big open sandbox, and DICE has just given us this sandbox to create so many funny and memorable moments. No matter how fun or maybe traumatic they were, it was just so much fun, and they just knew how to do it. In Battlefield 5 in 2042, they kind of lost that plot and went to this different route, and they lost their identity, especially in 2042 with all the classes system. Because, well, in 2042, anyone can have an RPG, anyone can have a repair tool, anyone can have a medkit, grenade launcher, anything. There's no sense of identity. In Battlefield 1, I've never seen the community and the identity of medics so powerful before. Seeing a medic run across that battlefield just for one revive, just to die right after, it's something amazing. I think what I ultimately want to say is this Battlefield game was cared for. Every detail, everything about it was just so beautiful and amazing. No matter what part of the map I was on, I could always look to the distance and see just a beautiful spectacle. This game was made in 2016, just to let you know, and this is, in terms of graphics, it's doing better than some games that we have today. A project like this was so risky, and I feel like it was so much on stake, but they delivered in every possible way. They took their time and didn't rush anything. They made sure everything was perfect just for this perfect experience for us. Literally every Battlefield moment from back to 1942 till Battlefield 1 has been etched into every moment. Everything has been building up to this game, and it's amazing, it's beautiful. I feel like every player knew this. Players who are OG fans and even new Battlefield fans, they knew about this, and they went with it. The community was so strong and had so much passion for the game. There was so much love and vibrance that came from this game. Battlefield 1 at the time created this massive playground, this sand pit that all of us could just play in together and have unlimited fun. And even till this day, in my opinion, I can easily leave it and come back and still have an amazing time. Overall, I think Battlefield 1 is just amazing. It's peak. Battlefield 6 is great too. It's doing an amazing job, but it hasn't reached that same heights as Battlefield 1, and I don't think it will, but who knows? Maybe with the next coming update it will. But all I have to say, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I kind of ranted at the end a bit, repeated myself, but it's just, I just love Battlefield 1 so much. It is such an amazing game. I got back into it recently again, so I've been having way too much fun. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Comment what's on your mind, and
your little pussy belongs to me, and you're gonna learn to do what I fucking tell you to.
Penis stiffy, come real sticky, finna dick me, booty hole 50 cops. Move slowly cause the cum real sticky, dick down, squirt, silly,